Is the economy divided into services for the 1% and everybody else? Will Snap continue to create the most innovative technology, even without a good business model? Is culture jamming on the rise again as a form of media criticism? We'll tackle all this and more at the intersection of business and culture. Disruptive FM. Roll the title.
It's Disruptive FM. Disruptive FM. Disruptive FM. Welcome to Disruptive FM, where business and culture collide. Sponsored by Microsoft and Branding Strategy Insider. With your host, Jeffrey Colon.
Okay, here we go.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Hope you're having a great week. Welcome to Disruptive FM episode 40, the big 4-0, for the week ending Friday, April 5th. Yes, we're in the second quarter already for 2019. I'm Jeffrey Colon, your host for the next quarter hour as we check out the latest news in marketing, tech, media, and popular culture. Let's get started.
Here are this week's trending topics. Basic economy.
So let's say you have tons of money. You're probably flying first class, buying top-line clothes, paying extra for services so you don't have to wait in lines, or see advertising, or watch a concert from the cheap seats. What this has led to isn't so much as a two-class society, as much as one in which you have what's known as the elite tier and the basic tier. Airlines offer basic options to fly no frills. Same with cable television, which has been struggling to hold on to customers the past several years. Even cars have tried to push basic packages on new buyers for eons. Basics have grown in areas like fashion to phone plans to hotel rooms. So now we are a society in which companies are offering no frills on everything, not because they want you to feel basic. Instead, it's an urge to get you to upgrade, to pay more to get out of the land of the commoners. It's behavioral economics 101 to a T, and people are buying into it because they have no other options. Instead of being basic, well, you can humble brag you paid for the upgrade. That's the basics of life economics going forward.
Trending topics on DFM. Snap Factory.
Last week, Snap had its first ever partner summit in Los Angeles and unveiled a slew of new products for users, developers, and creators, including an anticipated in-app gaming platform called Snap Games, a new ad network called Snap Audience Network, and a new slate of original shows as part of its Snapchat Originals Premium video push. New products are part of Snap's broader agenda to boost its business by encouraging deeper engagement among its core base of loyal users, even if it never scales usage. Snap faces growing pressure to prove its value to advertisers in the bruising aftermath of its botched redesign and seemingly endless wave of executive departures over the past year. Snapchat hasn't been able to scale its usage beyond 200 million, much less to Facebook-like heights. We at DFM continue to view Snapchat as a niche product for a niche audience, chiefly made up of very young people. Snap's core strength and fundamental to its pitch to advertisers has been its young, mostly Gen Z user base. In fact, about 90% of U.S. 13 to 24-year-olds use Snapchat, per comments from Snap founder and CEO Evan Spiegel last week. But the threat of Instagram stealing the attention of Snap's key demo might have some advertisers feeling that they can easily or better reach that audience on Instagram. 85% of teens now use Instagram at least once a month, supplanting Snapchat in the top spot for the first time last year. Snap reminds us of a remix from 20-some years ago. During that era, Microsoft needed Apple, and Apple needed Microsoft. The same thing exists with Snap. Facebook, whether they want to admit to it or not, needs Snap. And Snap, in order to grow, may need the marketing muscle and audience reach of Facebook's network to turn more people into hardcore users. Oh, snap.
Trending topics on DFM. Culture jamming.
The art of using and manipulating media formats to tell a story is an underrated and underappreciated art form. Only a few people really do it well. We call these folks culture jammers. The yes men come to mind, but we have come on to someone else who is doing lots of crazy things and doing them quite well. His name is Oobah Butler, and he has decided to write a book which is out this month called How to Bullshit Your Way to Number One. Butler is known for a notorious stunt in which he ran the top-rated restaurant in London, even though the physical location was pretty much the size of a box. Butler basically showcased that people want things they think are highly rated, even though those things are gamed. So we landed an interview with Butler, and he's even game for wanting to do a video interview with us at Advertising Week in New York City in October of 2019. The culture jamming he's doing is exciting and is a lesson for us all that we're probably lame storytellers. Butler joined us earlier this week via Skype. Here's a bit of that conversation.
I think that it's a good question. I think it's kind of interesting. There's specific targets, right? And it's like, I mean, the three films I've made, the first one was, is about kind of food and that kind of the pretentious culture around that. And I've never quite even really overtly said this is about this. But essentially, just for your listeners, I used to live in a shed in London, like a shack out the back of somebody's house. And I had the idea in April 2017 to try and get it registered as a restaurant on TripAdvisor, which is kind of like Yelp, but for the rest of the world. And I managed to get it verified as a restaurant. And over the base of 6 months, by using kind of growth hacking and I had like a website where the food looked fancy, but if actually, as a matter of fact, all of the photos weren't of food at all. They were of things like urinal cakes and things like that, but they looked delicious and people wanted them. And the menu was that people should order moods instead of meals. And it kind of had that pretentious kind of restaurant culture thing around it. And using over the base of 6 months, I got it to number one in the whole of London. And, tons of celebrities, journalists, press, everyone wanted to eat there. And I just told everyone who rang up that we were fully booked. And the more that we said that we were fully booked, the more people wanted to come. And then, people are applying for jobs at my non-existent restaurant. It became a very real thing. And then this film came out, I opened it for one night only to real customers. And I served them 99-cent microwavable meals that were made to look fancy. And they all said that it was delicious. And, a couple of them said they wanted to book again. And you should see, if you see the film, that the place looks like hell. There's nothing nice about it. There is nothing at all nice about it. But, it kind of led me to believe that nowadays people, trust what they read online as opposed to what they put in their mouths. And, I put out this film and kind of exploded. But just to bring it all back around, at that point, I had a lot of people saying, what is this about? What is this about? I never quite said 100% what it is about, because it was so interesting to see the different interpretations of it as a piece of work. You had the Washington Post on one hand saying, you're the Donald Trump of TripAdvisor. And then quite equally on another hand, you had Rennie Redzepi, who runs Noma, the really fancy restaurant in Denmark, saying that it was a critique of restaurant culture. Or Nicholas Thompson from Wired just saying that I was weird as hell. It's kind of the stripping it of that kind of projecting the meaning too hard onto it kind of allowed for these really interesting interpretations.
That was Oobah Butler, culture jammer and author of the upcoming book, How to Bullshit Your Way to Number One. You can check it out now on Amazon.com. To hear my full-length interview with Oobah Butler, check out our DFM bonus round on our Disruptive FM YouTube channel.
You're listening to Disruptive FM with Jeffrey Colon.
Now, here comes the music. Here comes the music. Here comes the music.
It's Disruptive FM, the culture of business. I'm Jeffrey Colon, and as always, EFM is brought to you by Microsoft Advertising and Branding Strategy Insider. We are your friends. Connect with us on social media at Disruptive FM on both Twitter and Instagram, and connect with me personally on both Twitter and Instagram at DJGEOFFE. And for more in-depth analysis of some of these topics, check out bingads.ai and brandingstrategyinsider.com. EFM is also sponsored by Iographer, who can help you create better video. They make accessories for your smartphones and tablets, like better lenses and microphones, so you can make professional quality videos. Check out all their great products at iographer.com. In the background, music from Schwartz and Funk. It's a track called Soul Divine, out now on Be Adult Music. You can listen to the whole track on Spotify. We've included a link in the description for this episode.
Hey nerds! Listen up! Disruptive FM presents the new Hootie Hoo in Turned Up Tech. Hootie Hoo! Geargasm.
Shut up and take my money!
Amazon is trying a new way to take its Alexa digital assistant mobile by developing wireless earbuds that mirror Apple's popular AirPods. The Seattle-based e-commerce giant is readying earbuds with built-in Alexa access for as early as the second half of this year, according to people with knowledge of the plans. The headphones will look and act similar to AirPods, but people working on the product inside Amazon are striving for better audio quality. Like the AirPods, the Amazon earbuds are designed to sit inside users' ears without clips around the ear. The product is one of the most important projects at Amazon's Lab 126 hardware division, said the insiders we spoke to, who asked not to be identified discussing the private work. The company has also been working on a home robot for consumers with Echo, codenamed Vesta. The headphones will let people use their voice to order goods, access music, weather, and other information on the go. The Amazon digital assistant can be summoned by saying, Alexa. There will be physical gesture controls, such as tapping to pick up and end calls and switch between songs, and other features not discussed. Apple charges $159 to $199 for AirPods. Amazon hardware typically undercuts the competition, but no prices have been discussed yet. The initiative is a major move beyond the home for Amazon's consumer hardware. The Fire smartphone flopped in 2015, but the company's Echo smart speakers became a surprise hit that brought Alexa into millions of homes. A battery-powered Echo speaker was discontinued, and an Alexa plug-in for cars has limited availability. Amazon has opened up Alexa up to other headphone makers, such as Bose. The main check on Alexa's growth remains Amazon's lack of a smartphone and leading mobile operating system. Digital assistants from Apple and Google have huge ready-made user bases because the technology is embedded in hundreds of millions of iPhones, iPads, watches, and Android mobile devices. All right, time once again to take a look at some simmering stories we think you should keep an eye on. It's a segment called On the Radar.
Here's what's on our radar. Number 1.
Pinterest lowered its IPO sites, setting a price range of $15 to $17, a share for a valuation of about $8.5 billion, below a recent private investor valuation of $12.3 billion. The social bookmarking platform, expected to go public this week, would be the second of several major tech startups to do so this year. Its conservative approach stands in contrast to Lyft, which priced its shares above market expectations only to watch them drop following an IPO last month.
Number 2.
Demand for people with health or economic skills is growing at the world's biggest tech companies. As a skill, economics saw double-digit growth at several of LinkedIn's 2019 top companies, including Facebook, Google, Salesforce, and Lyft. People with those skills often land data scientist jobs. Similarly, general healthcare, hospitals, health IT, and healthcare management were among the most sought-after skills at big tech firms. Those workers are helping the companies explore new business opportunities in the health field.
Number 3.
Vietnamese refugee David Tran started Huey Fong Foods from the back of a truck in Los Angeles 4 decades ago to sell his iconic Sriracha hot sauce. Now his company controls almost 10% of the $1.55 billion American hot sauce market. He will soon have a new competitor from Thailand. Thai Therapos claims to use the original Sriracha recipe for its Sriracha Panish sauce and will enter the U.S. market. But Tran is not worried about new competitors, citing the insatiable demand for Sriracha. Okay, that's going to wrap up another episode of DFM number 40. We appreciate your time and attention, and we would appreciate it even more if you would rate, review, and subscribe to our show. We're on just about all of your favorite podcast services: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, Spreaker, Stitcher, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and SoundCloud. Once again, the socials, Twitter and Instagram @DisruptiveFM is the handle. And read more in-depth content via our 3 sponsors: BingAds.ai, BrandingStrategyInsider.com, and iographer.com. Next week, we have Shitra Anand, author of the book The Greenhouse Approach, talking all things innovation with us. You don't want to miss it. Until then, for everyone here at DFM, thanks for checking in. I'm Jeffrey Colon. Catch you next week.
You've been listening to Disruptive FM with Microsoft Communications designer Jeffrey Colon. All thoughts are his own. Disruptive FM is produced in Los Angeles by Feeler Media.